Hello, hello. Hey, Pip Streamers. What if I told you you don't need your own $100,000 to trade like a six-figure trader? Because not too long ago, I secured over $100,000 in trading funds on Darwinex. And today, I'm going to break down exactly what that means. Not just for me, but for you as a trader. All right, so this right here is the Darwinex platform. Now, before we get into it, let me take you back for a second. This didn't just happen overnight. There were charts, hours, days where nothing moved, and days where everything moved, but not in my favor. You know how that goes. But over time, something started to happen. I stopped chasing trades and started focusing on the process. This is very key. I stopped thinking in terms of quick wins and started thinking in terms of consistency and risk control. This is very key to trade on the Darwinex platform. That's when things started to compound. Darwinex is not looking for gamblers. If you're a gambler, then this is probably not going to be for you. What they're looking for is traders who can manage risk, stay disciplined, and produce a steady performance. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. So, if we look right here, it's showing assets under management, 90,000 euros. Now you're probably like, wait a minute, I thought you said it was 100,000. Yeah, remember, this is euros, right? So 90,000 euros is equivalent to the conversion rate right now is 1.17. So if you take 90 times 1.17, it gives you 105.3. So that's $105,000. That's what I have in my account right now to trade with, right? Over here, what you see is my return since I started trading on this account. My max drawdown is 9%. And right now you're probably wondering, like, wait a minute, 9%. Yeah, because again, Darwinex is not a traditional prop firm, right? The way they work is different. You get 9% on FTMO or any other kind of traditional prop firm and you're done, right? That's not how Darwinex works. The last 6 months, my performance has been at around 11.45%, right? This is since I started, this is the last 6 months. That's how they gauge their performance. Down here, we can see when I first started, I struggled a little bit in that first month, but then I found my bearings, and ever since I've been growing and growing. Over here I had a huge drawdown because I was stubborn and traded in December, which I shouldn't have, because December can be a problem. But anyway, I recovered from it and have been growing. Over here I stumbled a little bit again, but I'm coming out of it again, right? But since I started, I've been doing pretty good. Never seen red again, so that's pretty good, right? Now, how did I get to the 100,000, right? This is my journey so far. I started in September. This has been my performance. Well, last year was obviously not a full year since I started in September, but I still had a 6.5 return for the year. Now, it could have been a lot more than that if I did not trade in December and had this 5.97% loss, but that's all good. Recovered in January and we're going. March was not very good because of the volatility, partially caused by the war, as we know, but I'm working through it and we're growing, right? So far right now, I have 90,000 that I'm trading with, which is about $105,000, like I showed you. But so far throughout the platform, in total, I have earned 150,000 actually, euros, which is equivalent to what? Probably 180. Let's see, 150 times 1.17, about $175,000 actually. So why the difference in numbers? Because of the way funding works on Darwinex, right? It's when you get the funding, it lasts in your account for 3 months. And then you have to keep beyond a certain performance level for you to keep getting funding. So if we go down here, up here, and let me make this bigger. You can see right here, my current rating is at 60.96, right? But over here it says, in order for you to get guaranteed funding, your rating needs to be above 75, right? So I need to get my rating above 75 in order to guarantee myself funding for April, which I'm working towards. We're still, today is April 12th, so we're working on it, and I'm confident I will be above 75 in terms of rating. Now, when you're above 75, you're guaranteed minimum 30,000 euros to be put in your account for trading with, and it lasts in your account for 3 months. So what happens is, let's say, first month you're above 75, in terms of rating, you get your 30,000, right? Second month, you are above, you get your 30,000. So that puts you at 60. Then, in the third month, you are above the 75 rating, you get again another 30,000, right? So now you're at 90. And then let's say the fourth month, you did not perform well for whatever reason, and you're below the 75, so you don't get the 30,000, you don't get anything. But also because the first 30,000 you got has completed its 3-month cycle, you lose the 30,000 and you go back to 60, right? And then let's say on the 5th month, you perform well, and then you get another 30,000, becomes 90. But remember now the second month is also completing its cycle of 3 months. So they take away the 30,000. So now you're back at 60. So it's a rolling cycle where you could, if you don't perform well in 1 or 2 months, your funding starts to go down because the 3-month cycle starts to wind down on the fundings that you received previously, right? So keep that in mind. But if you do really well and you're above 75, but you're close to 100 or you're doing like 90 something, you can actually get up to 375,000 funding in one go. And if we go right here, I can show you real quickly. Let's look at the top performers so far this month and how much they're allocated to get so far, if they keep the performance up by the end of the month. So if we look at this guy, he's in first position. His rating is at 97.27, and he is so far scheduled to get an allocation of 375,000 euros for April, as long as he holds this position, right? So how much is that in terms of dollars? 375 euros times 1.17, which is the exchange rate. That's $438,000 that he's going to get, and he's going to stay in his account for 3 months to trade with. And if he keeps being number one, he's going to keep getting that 400,000 every month, up until I think the limit is a million or something. Yeah. So if you perform really well and your rating is really high, you actually get more money. But the threshold is 75. As long as you're at 75 and above, you're guaranteed to get at least 30,000. But you can get a lot more than that if you perform even better than the 75, right? So you see this is in first position, 375. The guy in second position, his rating is 95.85. He's getting 315. Third position, 265. Fourth position, 220. Now we come back all the way down to number 10, who is at 93.43, which is really not that much of a big difference from the first position. But because the competition is pretty tight and he's at number 10, he's getting 110,000 euros for April, as long as he holds that position, right? So yeah, as you keep going down, you can see the ratings decrease and the amounts decrease. But as long as you are above 75, you will get funding. That's the key. All right, back to the main screen right here. Okay, also, there are several ways you get funding. The first way you get funding is through the platform. And if we go right here, I can show you, this has been the history of my funding. Right here, you can see the first time I got the 30. And then I got my second in December, which got me to 60. Then December, I didn't perform well because I had that drawdown. If you remember, then in January, obviously, when it came to January, it stayed at 60 because December was not a good month. January, I was above the 75% rating. So I got an additional 60, which briefly got me to 90. But remember, my initial 30 had reached its 3-month cycle. So that dropped off. So that kept me at 60 in February. But then in March, I was above 75 again. So again, I got 30 and that bumped me up to 90, which is where I'm at right now. And so I'm hoping to do good in April and be above 75 or more and get some more funding, right? So that is the first type of funding that you get that comes directly from the platform based on your performance. The second type of funding is called investor funding. These are private individuals who are allowed to invest in accounts that are doing well. And you can get a lot of money from that because that one is unlimited. And usually your account is eligible for private investors after about 6 months or so. So in my case, in March, I had a decent performance and I had my first investor who came in and deposited $9,000 in my account to trade with. So that was on top of the 90,000, right? But then towards the end of March, my performance was not looking good because of the war, and it kind of messed me up. As you can see right here, in March, I lost 2.3%, right? So the investor basically took his money out and I'm back to zero. But that's a good sign to see that at least I had an investor for some time and then he went out, which to me shows that my account is investable to private investors, right? Now, if you do well on this platform, you can get a lot of funding. Just to show you, let's go over here to, I think it's all Darwin's. Yeah. So here are the top guys on the platform, right? So the guy in first position right now, his abbreviation is SYO. Right now, he has 16.4 million euros to trade with from 540 investors, plus money from platform as well. For platform, of the 16 million, the platform money that he's gotten is about 5 million or so. Second guy, we can see right here, 16.2 million. Third guy, 14.3. Fourth guy, 5.8 million euros, so forth and so forth. So you can really rack up your trading funds if you just stay consistent. Now, of course, some of these guys have been on the platform for a while and have been consistent. That's why they get the funding. So, for example, this guy has been here since 2026. This guy since 2014. This guy since 2015, right? This guy since 2021, which is not too long ago. And he's already at 5.8 million in terms of funding that he has. This guy 2018, 2017, 2019, 2023, which is not too long ago, and here is already at 4+ million euros to trade with. Now, what I want you to notice is also look at their maximum drawdowns. His is 13%, this one is 15%, 14%, 11%, 16, 19, 16, 9. You're not going to have these drawdowns on a traditional prop firm because you will lose your account, right? But that's not how Darwinex works. And because Darwinex works differently, it allows you to be able to keep your account for a very long time. And if you're consistent, you could be making money from that account for a very long time. So that's another key thing about Darwinex: consistency and performance, of course. So as we go back here to the main screen, let's break it down. A lot of traders, when they hear funded account, they immediately think it's just another prop firm model. Like I said, Darwinex is different. Instead of passing a one-time challenge and getting a funded account, Darwinex evaluates your actual trading performance over time. That's the key. What they're looking at are 4 main things. Risk management is number 1. Consistency is number 2. Drawdown control, and I will show you that in a little bit, is number 3. And strategy stability is number 4. And based on that, they allocate investor capital and their platform capital to strategies that have a good rating on those 4 factors. If you have those 4 factors under control, that's how you're going to consistently be above that 75% rating. So you're not just trading a funded account, you're essentially managing capital on behalf of investors. That's a different level of responsibility and a different level of opportunity. Essentially, what you're becoming is a fund manager, not just a retail trader. Now, I said I was going to show you the drawdown control. So you can see my highest drawdown here is 9%. But if we go down here, it shows the history of my drawdown, right? Now let's zoom in here so I can show you something. So my highest drawdown was 9%. I was in that drawdown for 19 days before I came out. Okay. The second highest was 5.8. I was in there for 12 days before I came out. The other one was 3.8. I was in there for 5 days. And then 2.7, I was in there for 2 days. 2.6, 0 days. 2.4, 0 days. 2.1, 2 days, right? So obviously, the smaller the drawdown, the quicker you're able to come out of that drawdown. The bigger the drawdown, it's probably going to take you a while to come out. And we can see, if we move to this side, we can see the chart or graph that's showing you the drawdown. If you're at 0, that means there's no drawdown. And then obviously, the more you go down, the bigger the drawdown. So when I first started, my biggest was about the 3.8, kept it up, and then the 9%. This one is the one that happened in December because I was stubborn enough to trade in December. As you know, December is usually a very slow month to trade. And usually the last 2 weeks, you really don't want to trade. And I don't know why I did it. And it cost me. Anyway, and this one was recently during the war. It kind of took me for a ride, came to 5.8, but I've been coming out of it. So if you have a good drawdown history and you're able to come out of your drawdowns successfully and quickly enough, you will be okay. For example, if we go back to the top performers, so let's look at this number 1 guy. His top drawdown is what? 13% basically. This is his performance throughout the years. He's been consistent. He's had a few drawdowns here and there, but he's been consistent since 2016. This is the investor capital he's been getting, which has been going up consistently. As you can see right here, when he had this drawdown right here, the investment capital also dropped as well. So investors are also going to respond based on your performance. So the more you're consistent, the more the funding is going to be consistent coming in. This is for investors. This is his platform funding. Initially, it was pretty good, and then it dropped off here. So not sure what happened there, but maybe he doesn't care too much about the platform funding since he's getting a lot of investors investing in his account, right? But we were going to look at the drawdown history. So this is the drawdown history, and it's pretty volatile as we look at it. But again, he's been here for what? Since 2016, so almost 10 years or so. Yeah, so it's definitely going to have some bumps in it. But the key is, and let me bring this up, how quickly do you come out of your drawdowns? At 13%, he was there for 180 days. That is about 6 months. That's a long period of time. 11.5, he was there for 89 days, basically 3 months. 11.53, he was there for about a month. This one too, about a month. 10.27, 269 days. That's what? 10 months? Wow, okay. And then 9.92, 186 days, which is 6 months again. And then 9.77 was 62 days. So based on his strategy, recovering from drawdowns takes him a long time. However, even with that, he still has 14 million under management to trade with. So the Darwinex platform looks at a lot of factors. Yes, risk management is one of them, but if you're good in other factors, you could still do okay because he's producing results. He's had 259% return since he started trading on the platform. So he's doing good. You know, they don't just look at your drawdown. If you're in a traditional prop firm, they look at your drawdown, and if you go beyond, 5%, boom, you're out, and they take your money. That's not how Darwinex works. And this matters a lot because many traders, capital is their biggest limitation. You might have the skill, you might have the strategy, you might even have a little bit of capital to trade with, but because you don't have enough capital, you're constantly struggling and taking huge risks. But Darwinex changes that. It gives you the ability to scale your trading, the chance to build credibility as a trader, and access to external capital without risking your own savings at scale. That's the key word, at scale. Yeah? Actually, the market just opened. Let's see what's going on with gold. Oh, see the market just gapped right over here. Boom. But I think it's going to recover at some point to cover this gap. But anyway, we'll see. Just like you see it gapped over here and then it came back and covered the gap. Anyway, so now the Darwinex platform is a very powerful opportunity, but it is not easy. There are real expectations on you as a trader, right? And some traders, they overtrade, they break their rules, they chase losses, they have no discipline, no consistency, they treat trading as a hobby, and that's where things fall apart. If you're considering this path, you need to understand it is a professional platform where you're going to have to be professional. So, in conclusion, the bigger picture here is the 100K Darwinex funding isn't just a milestone. It's a doorway into trading with more structure, more responsibility, and more opportunity. And for me, my goal is to grow that funding this year from that 100,000K to at least $1 million. $1 million in funding. And the truth is, this path is available for all serious traders who are willing to do things the right way. Jesus. If that's you, let's go. Let's get this done. All right, man. If you found this video to have some good information for you, please like, and of course, please subscribe and join our free Telegram group as well, where I post daily updates on my trading and what's going on so we can take this journey together. Remember, the market doesn't reward the loudest trader. It rewards the most disciplined one. See you next time. Peace.